Our musical theatre days really start off the first project in our academic year of educational outreach. Children could see everything going on. They could meet all the people involved with the creation of live musical theatre, whether it was design, stage management, costume design, get to know the singers, how they got to singing opera. They think, why on earth do singers sing like that? And we explain that these singers have to sing over an orchestra in a big auditorium without a microphone. The children who come to a musical theatre day at Clonter, they do three things. In the design workshop, they will be given a choice of different topics. So that could be Tropical Island, a Winter Wonderland, or a Year 3000, whatever it is that they find captures their imagination. Then as a group, they work in teams, like we do as a production team. And we very much, one of the most important things is we say, if you're going to put on a show, you've all got to pool together to make this project work. So they get certificates for the group that works best together. So they suddenly realise, oh, we have got to work together if we want to get this certificate. So they decide on a topic and then they start sketching. Individually they start sketching any idea, and then they pool their ideas together, and then they have a scale 1 to 50 model box, and they can use all the materials that we put on the table to create a scene. And they're given a little person who's scale 1 to 50, and they're told everything that you put in this model box has to relate to this little person. So if there's a palm tree in your box, that palm tree is probably maybe 3 times the height of that little person. But if you're in a completely magical land like Alice in Wonderland, then maybe that tree or toadstool is massive. It's up to them. They can decide what they'd like to do.
Throughout the workshop, you see the kind of, and they call it like the frontal lobe, don't they? The kind of the part of your brain that deals with common sense. You see it almost like it's waking up. Yeah. Maybe because it's also first thing in the morning, but you see them kind of understanding. And it's so, the best feeling is when you explain something and they're not quite sure, and you explain it and they go, oh, I get it. Yeah. And then that leads them onto something else and onto something else, which is really satisfying. Mm-hmm.
Once they've done this model box, they then can add lighting. And this is really magical. So if they've only done a very simple set, they can create a much more exciting set with the lighting. They put these little model boxes in a light box with lots of coloured torches, and they can light it from all angles and take photographs of it. And they can't believe this transformation. It suddenly brings something that they have just imagined in their head half an hour earlier, brings it to life. It looks real. It looks magical. And they, gosh, oh, this is really quite good.
You like it? I like it.
The music workshop that children take part in, they get to meet 4 singers.
To feel the rhythm of life, to feel that powerful beat.
And they have a very intimate experience with these singers. They're sitting very close to them. The singers come into the room, enter into the room, and then the singers introduce themselves one by one. And they talk to the children as if they're just somebody they really want to share their passion with.
Does anyone here play football? Yeah? Does anyone here play rugby? Or dance?
Dancing.
All those things are things that I did when I was at school.
I think that music is the one area that is entirely, it's absolutely inclusive. You don't need to be able to hold anything or correctly, or write anything correctly, or say anything correctly. You can just get involved on any level that you're able to get involved.
We were all sat there waiting, and then suddenly there's singing from up above on the balcony, and all the children jump, and it's and then they come rush down the stairs. Last time I came with a little girl who's only been in school for 2 weeks, didn't have any English. And I was with her the whole time, but she listened intently, not understanding the words, but getting the meaning. And they explained about the characters, and they put on the little bits of outfit and all that. And the devil especially, he put on his horns and he sang in his deep voice, and he was very dramatic. And in the afternoon, when they put on the performance on the stage, the music sounded, and she grabbed my arm, and it's, devil, she said to me. And she'd barely spoken before, but she'd already got that much from it, just from that, that one day being here and listening to the music.
We're not expecting anybody to have any prior knowledge or prior experience, so it doesn't matter whether you fully understand or whether you're a little puzzled but you're kind of keen. You can get involved in it.
Myself, I didn't see an opera until I was 17, and I really wish that I'd been exposed to this music at the age of the students that are coming through Clonter and being involved in these workshops. And the reaction it has from the students is incredible. It's just a real privilege to be part of that.
When the night winds howl in the chimney cowl, and the birds in the moonlight flight.
So the third part of the day, the children come into the auditorium. For some of these children, they've never been into a theatre before. So there's a sort of sharp intake of breath when they come in. And then they all sit in their seats. They're all very quiet to start with. And then Laura comes on the stage and really sort of whoops them up and encourages them to understand that they can cheer and feel free to interact with the performance. Then they see these extracts they've seen in the workshops expanded, and they can enjoy the whole piece. And they get to see the show on this wonderful set that we've had created by Nate Gibson, who's our designer in the Spotlight and emerging designer this year. He's done this set for the Marriage of Figaro, and it's all being used for the workshops. For schools taking part in ArtSmart, this is a particularly useful project because this year we're actually we've geared up the whole programme to fit in with Discover Arts Award. And they leave with a pack. Every record of the day they can put in their log. And by the end of filling in that log, they will qualify for a Discover Arts Award. We give them a backing track from the song they've learnt so they can perform that in assembly. They've got their model boxes, they can show to everybody. They've got a lot to be proud of. They've done a lot of very exciting work here today. We learn so much every time we do this. Every year we learn more about how to communicate it, what we're trying to do with the teachers. And as more and more children are taught within main school, and they bring SEN teachers in, we learn a lot from them. They say, this is great, that child, he's on an equal footing with everyone, she's really engaged with this. Normally she'd be feeling a bit left out, but in this case she's really joining in.
It's opening up opportunities for jobs, careers. I remember last time one of the singers was quite local. He had quite an accent, and it really says, this is open for all and anybody can do it.
Schools are longing for opportunities to bring the arts into the main curriculum, and that's been one of the major challenges for them. But it's something that we do all the time with language, with working to scale, maths, history. It's all part of opera.